Hey everybody, it's John Ziemba here, and on this video we're going to walk through how to do Facebook ads, and I'm going to walk through some of the different changes that are available, and we're going to start from scratch. So what I'm going to suggest you do is click on your name in the top right hand corner and click on settings. And as you go through this, you will see that there are two Facebook options. There's one for Facebook post scheduling. So what I'm going to tell you to do is actually click on that and click on disconnect and make sure that both of these options are disconnected and then reconnect them. A lot of the problems that I'm seeing is people not for some reason or another the API has changed and so forth, and the connection isn't working properly when they go to set up an ad. So I find the best thing to do is just to go through that, disconnect and reconnect, and that usually fixes the problem. Okay, so in order to run a Facebook ad, you're actually going to start in campaigns. And now when I talk about running a Facebook ad, I'm talking about a paid advertisement. Okay, so you can see I've run some here. I have one that's running right now. I've spent $2.42 and I've gotten 4 leads on it. And if I click on the actual lead, I can see what I have. I just have a little bit of text and I have two pictures that people can look at. And then when they click on the ad, they register for it basically through Facebook and then they get sent to my website. Okay, so as you get started, one of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come over to your website and find the property that you desire to run an ad for. And this is going to be the page that they go to after they register on Facebook. Okay, so they're actually registering on Facebook. So I'm going to simply click create new campaign, and I can come over and I want to do social ad paid. When I click on that, it's going to say, what is my goal here? In this case, what we're going to focus on is advertised listings, and I'm just going to call it test listing. Okay. When you click on advertised listing, you're going to choose also where you want it to run. In this case, we're just going to focus on Facebook. I'm going to click setup campaign, and what it's going to do is it's going to ask me to choose a listing. Now what I find is that the best thing to do is to find the MLS number of the property. In this case, I'm just borrowing this MLS number, and instead of just using my listings, do all listings and then choose MLS number, and then it comes up. It seems to work pretty well for the search. I think that works the best. I'm just going to select this property, and now it's going to ask me to do the rest of the steps here. And I can see every time I have a green check, that means that that portion is completed. Now, on the right-hand side, what I will see is this is what the ad will look like. So I can see the web feed and the mobile feed. Okay. So I have the main copy. Now by default, this usually just takes the MLS description and puts it in here. Now keep in mind that you see that there's a cutoff. So I have 200, 230 of 250, or it says recommended 125 characters or less. So I want to make sure I have some good copy here, and I can use things like emojis and so forth. Okay, so if I click on there, I can choose the different emojis that are available. Now I can enter a headline, so I can say great deal for under 100K. Okay. And now there is this description here, and the description is only shown in some placements, and I'm not quite sure, but I could say something like special financing available. All right. So like for kind of promote Keller Mortgage, right? Or make that an option. Okay, so what I've done is I've added the text for this right here. Okay, we started out, I picked the property, I'm adding the text, and now I have the ad media. Now I don't have to do this because I've already done this. Um, you should upload your logo, and you'll notice that your office logo will go in the bottom right hand corner, and the ownership statement here. If you need to add something there, you can do that. Otherwise, I think there's one that's a default that will stay there. So just be aware of that. The first time you do this, you will probably have to do something or you will get an error if it isn't done. All right, I have the option. By default, it picks the first image. Now I can add additional images for the property. So I'm just gonna click on a couple images here to show you. And what this will do is if you've ever seen a Facebook ad and people can swipe through it, they can see the different photos. So here I've added a couple pictures here. I probably should fix my text here instead of fro. Go with 4 or I will try that. So now I'm coming down to my add media here. I can also do things when I click on, so for example, here's video. If I have a video, I can do that. When I click on add more, I have the option of adding other images other than just ones that are specifically the photos from, say, the MLS. I can also browse my digital library, which this takes me over into my saved templates here in from designs. I have the option of adding a video. I can embed a link, upload a video, or choose from designs, or even use a neighborhood video. All right, so I have those options here. In this case, I'm just going to use pictures. And then I have the option down here. The next thing is, so this is completed. I have the option to configure the Facebook ad. Now I have to select a page. If you only have one page here, you just want to select that one. In case you see I have several. So I select the proper page and I'm going to use the Facebook lead generation form, meaning that when they click on it, it's going to give them a pop-up that says this is a Facebook thing. If you want more information, click on this. And then after that, they're going to have a follow-up destination URL, which is actually going to be my web page of the property that I'm talking about. Now keep in mind that when I do this, when I copy this address, I'm copying the full HTTP. So what I actually do is I delete the whole thing and so I delete the first HTTPS because you want to make sure there's not a double HTTPS. Otherwise, they won't actually get to your site. I can do things like custom settings here, and I even have the option of targeting my database. And you can do what they call create an audience. So if you were going to do this, I would base it like on a tag. So I would have one that would be called, let's say, sphere or a farm, right? And then I can look in my options here for my sphere tag, and I could run an ad just to my sphere. I think that wouldn't necessarily be a listing ad. It would be more of a, hey, I'm in real estate. Remember me when you're thinking. So I'm just going to uncheck that one. I'm going to use a target audience. Now, sometimes it'll usually pull up here. I've had to type in the option. I'm noticing right now that that's not happening, that it's just using the default option of wherever the property is. Okay, I have the option of doing expert targeting here. This can help you decrease some of the potential spam options you get if you're seeing a lot of foreign things. I can come to Zillow and let's say people that have an interest of Zillow. So it means they like the page, or Facebook thinks they have a like of that. I could use Zillow. I can do Zillow and Realtor.com. So if they like both of them. Now, one thing is I notice how you see Zillow Premier Agent. Now, if I was going to run an ad specifically to realtors, I would potentially use that one. So I'm just going to uncheck this. I'm just going to do 15 miles of this of the address of the property, and I'm just going to hit save. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look at duration of budget. So what I'll notice here is that I have the starting date and the end date. And we see the duration. If I want to change the duration, I have to either change the end date. So for example, I'm going to choose on the 12th so that it's 6 days, and I can change the budget per day. Okay. If you have multiple channels, so if you have Facebook, Instagram, and or Twitter, you can have the option of choosing how much you want to allocate per each quote unquote, they call that a channel. So whether I want $5 a day on Facebook, $2 a day on Instagram, and $1 a day on Twitter. Right, those are a couple of examples. So I can choose my budget and it will divide that budget by the duration. When I'm done, I just click save duration, and I'm going to click on publish campaign, which I'm not going to do. If you don't have your credit card, it will give you a pop-up, and that will allow you to publish your campaign. When you're inside your campaigns, you will see all your active campaigns. If for some reason you think you have leads and they're not showing up, there is now an ellipsis over here that allows us to do a couple different things. So we can either download the CSV, which is the leads. We can run a duplicate campaign. We can edit the campaign. We can stop the campaign, or if we refresh the leads, that will pull the leads through if some of them were stuck because there was a time when it wasn't quite working right. So you can see right now I'm running this ad. Right now I'm on day one. I've gotten 4 leads. Total spend is 242. My cost per lead is 61 cents. My cost per click is 12 cents. And my cost per 1,000 impressions, that's what the CPM means, is 13.15. So I'm paying $13.15 for 1,000 people to see that. That's how that breaks down. So those are different metrics you can use as you do different ads. So this is a rundown of running a Facebook ad for a listing. One thing I would pay attention to is that the preview image may not necessarily be the first image that's in your ad. We noticed that this morning when we were working on that. So I just wanted to run through that, and I wouldn't be too concerned about that. And one other tip you can do, I created a special picture for one of my listings here that I ran an ad for. You see special financing available, and this was kind of one of the tips that I got from Family Reunion, and this ad didn't do too bad here. I think I got a total of 14 leads, and I spent $32. So wasn't bad. It was 234 per lead. Now the conversion that I find is about somewhere between 1 and 2%. So maybe you're having a higher output, lower output, but that's what most people are seeing. So just wanted to show you exactly how to do this. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.